48 HRS before Irma hits Florida. Look where Trump and Pence just showed up, that says Libs furious. President Trump and Vice President Pence are off to Camp David for the weekend. They'll keep a close eye on Florida as Hurricane Irma is expected to hit sometime on Saturday, depending on what Irma feels like doing. Current predictions see Irma striking Florida on Saturday night. Other predictions see liberals crying enough tears to account for every raindrop in the hurricane because they'll most likely be mad that Trump and Pence aren't in the hurricane. Trump traveled to Texas twice to be with Hurricane Harvey survivors, and he will probably travel to Florida as soon as it's safe and the storm has moved away from the panhandle. But that won't be good enough for liberals. They'll complain Trump wasn't there fast enough. Even though much of Florida has been evacuated, the liberals will still complain. They want him there now, probably in the eye of the storm where it will whisk Trump out to sea, but that won't happen. It's too dangerous for most people to travel into Florida while there's other people evacuating. Liberals will just have to deal with it. If they cry enough, then perhaps Trump can take a canoe to Florida along the sea of liberal tears. Writer Oliver Willis had choice words about Trump's travel plans, but they fell flat of a Category 1 bashing. I provided some commentary to his article on ShareBlue. Trump also ran away to Camp David just as Hurricane Harvey brought unprecedented flooding to Texas a couple weeks ago. Willis fails to mention Trump visited Texas twice, spent time with people, and even carried some supplies back and forth. Not bad for someone over 70 years old. What did Oliver Willis do? Watch it unfold from his desk, couch, or toilet? Municipalities all across Florida are declaring a state of emergency, and certain parts of the state, like the Florida Keys, are facing mandatory evacuations in advance of the storm, which is a Category 4, though that could increase as it spends time over water. As that happens, the Trumps and Pences may be enjoying a foursome at Camp David's golf range. Quite risque choice of words, sir, but we don't know Trump's plans once he arrives at Camp David. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Trump can't do much while Hurricane Irma is active around Florida. Trump can only keep tabs on it and be prepared to act. Other than that, if he was golfing while the storm surged, then it doesn't really matter. I predict Trump travels to Florida as soon as he's permitted and does the same thing for them that he did for Texas. Care to mention that Trump signed a $15.3 billion Harvey aid package? Trump can sign an aid package from Russia if he wanted to. The point is that it gets done and people recover from natural disaster. Trump isn't going to rebuild people's homes while dressed like an Amish person and build someone a house in a day. The National Weather Service warns of life-threatening storm surge and wind impacts to much of the state, which should be on Trump's mind as he decides whether to relax in the heated pools at Camp David, watch a film in the movie theater there, play a few games in the bowling alley on site, take a horse out on the riding trails, or even see if he can master skeet shooting. It will be on everyone's mind. Doesn't matter what anyone does this weekend, they'll be paying attention to the news and hoping everyone is safe. What are we doing about it? We're writing stories about it from the comfort of our home or office. How's that much different than what anyone else does? If the hurricane isn't in your town and you're across the country, then there's not much you can do anyway. I suppose any chance to suggest Trump is out skeet shooting while people drown in Hurricane Irma would paint the picture that liberals so badly desire. Those Americans will not be comforted to know that instead of canceling his weekend getaway plans and staying at the White House to coordinate the complex interactions between federal and state authorities to respond to the storm, Trump and Pence may be engaged in an epic contest of horseshoe at the pit built at Camp David back in 1989. How do we know Trump is playing horseshoes? That's merely speculation and liberal hopes. For all we know, Trump is either planning on what to do next while at Camp David, or he's already planned it. In that case, he's one step ahead. Trump enjoys the luxuries that come with the presidency, Whether that means Camp David or the ability to use tax dollars to fly to his own luxury resorts in New Jersey or Florida, Mar-a-Lago has been ordered to evacuate due to Irma, but he is completely disinterested in sitting still and doing the job he was unfortunately elected to, leading $15.3 billion off to help Texans recover from Hurricane Harvey is evidence that he's leading. A leader takes care of his country when a natural disaster strikes. Trump is leading, but some people simply refuse to see it. I suppose America won't ever be great for the people who are truly miserable. Good luck to those who plan to complain for the next 4 to 8 years under Trump's leadership.